While it is the final report on Saddam's weapons, it's certainly not the last word on the subject in Campaign 04. CBS News Chief White House correspondent John Roberts reports how the candidates dealt with the report out on the campaign trail.
President Bush steered clear of the CIA report today, focusing his attention on John Kerry in a so-called major policy address that sounded more like a high-pitched campaign event.
He said he wants to hold a summit meeting so he can invite other countries to join what he calls the wrong war in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Democrats, on the other hand, found plenty to talk about in the report. More ammunition for John Kerry at Friday's second presidential debate, they said. More evidence the president can't be straight with Americans.
Now we have a report today that there clearly were no weapons of mass destruction. George Bush has said he would have done everything the same. They are in a complete state of denial about what's happening in Iraq.
With Friday's joint appearance open to all issues, President Bush also took aim today at Kerry's domestic policies. A tax and spend liberal, he claimed today, with the record to prove it.
It wasn't easy for my opponent to become the single most liberal member of the Senate. You might even say it was hard work.
If that laugh line sounds familiar, it should. It was how President Bush described his job at the first debate.
It's hard work.
Bruised from that and other debate moments like the now famous grimace, President Bush tried to clean himself up today, poking fun at his perceived gaffes while bashing John Kerry.
He said terrorists are pouring across the Iraqi border, but also said that fighting those terrorists is a diversion from the war on terror. You hear all that and you can understand why somebody would make a face.
It's a clear sign that President Bush is planning to stay the course on Friday with sharp attacks on Kerry's Iraq policy. While Democrats say they'll keep pushing their line that President Bush has misled the nation on Iraq and pursued a course that is stubborn and arrogant. John Roberts, CBS News, Farmington Hills, Michigan.
As for the vice presidential candidates, Cheney and Edwards, more than 43 million viewers watched their one and only joint appearance last night, drawing 50% more viewers than the vice presidential debate 4 years ago. CBS's Jim Axelrod has the follow-up on Cheney, Edwards, and the day after.
John Edwards headed to Florida today.
We have a vice president and a president who still struggle with the truth, right?
So did Dick Cheney.
John Kerry and John Edwards cannot, with tough talk, obscure a record that goes back 30 years.
And both sounded like they never left Cleveland.
It strikes me as beyond the pale. It is indeed. You suggested that somehow they shouldn't.
Last night's debate was more than 90 minutes of bare-knuckles politics. Truth be told, it often crossed the line of civility.
That was a complete distortion of my record. I know that will come as a shock.
No, I think his record speaks for itself, and frankly, it's not very distinguished.
Edwards demonstrated why he won millions in the courtroom.
Vice President, I don't think the country can take 4 more years of this kind of experience.
And Cheney, forceful and tough, gave as good as he got, sometimes better.
The senator's got his facts wrong.
Actually, both had a little trouble with the facts. This was Cheney painting Edwards as a minor leaguer who hardly shows up for votes.
You've got one of the worst attendance records in the United States Senate. The first time I ever met you was when you walked on the stage tonight.
Really? See this prayer breakfast 2 years ago? There's Cheney, there's Edwards.
I sat at a table with the vice president. We shook hands, we talked.
But it wasn't just Cheney. This was Edwards on the cost of the war in Iraq.
We're at $200 billion and counting.
He repeated a figure that Kerry got hammered for in the last debate. $200 billion is what's projected. $120 billion is cost to date.
It wasn't $200 billion. You probably weren't there to vote for that.
So who won? Unlike last week, there doesn't seem to be a clear-cut winner. And if it was a draw, that still leaves Mr. Cheney short of his goal, which was stopping Kerry Edwards' momentum. And besides, by the time the polls crystallize into some consensus about who won this debate, it'll be time for the next one. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, Englewood, Colorado.